Homemade chili is a quick and tasty family meal with Meyer brand. Start with a 28-ounce can of Meyer crushed tomatoes, a can of black beans, and a pouch of our authentic chili seasoning mix. Combine and simmer for about 20 minutes. Top with Meyer shredded sharp cheddar cheese and a dollop of cool and tangy all-natural sour cream. Then serve with crisp Meyer Select Saltines. Discover big taste and bigger savings when you make it a family chili night with Meyer brand.
Headlines and hot takes, they have their place. But at our podcast, ESPN Daily, we don't just skim the surface of sports. Dude, I mean, this clearly transcends blood feuds, rivalries, sports. This is something far, far deeper than that. I'm your host, Pablo Torre, and every day, we try to dive into the stories behind the athletes.
The picture of him in the dugout afterwards just looked like a guy who'd had his heart ripped out.
Listen to ESPN Daily wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you for calling 423-GET-FAME. That's 423-GET-FAME. I would tell you to leave a message, but the truth is, I don't really care. I've had this hotline open for months, and not one of you jokers have what it takes to be famous like me. So leave a message if you want, but don't expect a call back. I've got way more important things to do than to waste my time on losers like Mascarita Sagrada and you all. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Hey there, folks, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 13 of the Grave Consequences podcast. I am Caleb B. Follow me on Twitter there. Follow Greg at XMaserati. The title of this episode is Monster Meets Monster. You know it by now. Reviewing Lucha Underground. We got a huge main event on this episode. Of course, check me out every Wednesday night on Eddie and Caleb's HeroCast. That airs right after Dynamite. And that's all the plugs. Social Suplex Podcast Network. That's you get us. You get everything else on the network. Really great stuff. Greg, how are you, by the way, on our third recording of the night on Labor Day?
I think I'm pretty good. We're going to do our best not to just fly through this, even though we're seeing the finish line and the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. We promise we won't make any more tactical Whitey references either.
No, I think we're good on that. As long as there's no sequence with anyone in their man cave today.
Yeah. Praying to the god of whatever. Oh, you know what? It took me a week in the listeners' ears, but like less than an hour IRL. I think Mil Muertes was maybe mourning the soul of Pascual Mendoza.
Ah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm a genius, damn it. Hey, first thing here on the episode is Dario talking to Phoenix in his office, and Phoenix is joined by Drago and Aerostar. And, he's like, you guys were in the trios tournament last year, but Drago and Aerostar couldn't quit fighting, and we're not going to have this happen again, Phoenix. So we're going to have you tag with Jack Evans and PJ Black. So Dario is just like gaslighting the shit out of Phoenix and Drago and Aerostar as well.
And it's not the first team he's going to gaslight, and it's very weird because he doesn't have a horse in this race.
No.
He doesn't have a trios team, but he's really trying to because he mentions that they didn't get along last year. So he wants to prevent that so Phoenix doesn't have to worry about that. But
okay, I'm sorry. Here's the thing that he doesn't mention also is why they didn't get along last year. It's because they were in a best of 5 designed by him.
Yeah, he's a gaslighter instigator. And what he does is the exact opposite of what he's claiming he's trying to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. He is definitely a manipulator for sure.
And did you say who he teams him up with?
Oh, yes, PJ Black and Jack Evans.
Yeah, so you already know that Phoenix is in for a rough time.
Yeah. I would like to see Phoenix one day become Trios champion, but if if these are the teams he ends up in, it's never going to happen.
No, it's you don't. It's not. You don't want to see this team because it's not. It's just a. When Rock would get teamed up with Austin or Triple H would get teamed up with Rock. It's just to stir up conflict for a future story. It's not an actual team.
But hey, Drago and Aerostar and Dario says, you know what, you guys over the last year, you really built your friendship up, and we're going to put it to the test. And I hope it can withstand this because you two will face each other with an Aztec medallion on the line.
You don't think Dario likes friendship?
No, I think he sees it as a weakness.
And I think his insecurities make it so that he feels like if he's not in control of the violence, he's, a victim to it. So that's why he stirs it up so that he can be the eye of the storm.
Mm-hmm. No, I think right.
If we're reading into a wrestling show that's like 6 years old.
Yeah. Well, this was 5 years old, but up next actually was the Aztec Medallion match between Aerostar and Drago. And I wrote down that with the mask Drago wore to the ring, he looked like a demon.
Yeah, he goes for a very demonic dragon lately, even though he's a Technico. And I don't know what you got out of this match. It's a very good match, but it's very spotty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sequences where someone's waiting for someone else to do their move, and that takes me right out of a match. And there's a spot where Aerostar is put into a wrist lock, and he doesn't really sell it like a normal person would. Yeah. He's just kind of like waiting for the next move. And my God, the amount of... And this isn't me hating on Aerostar because I do like Aerostar. But, dude, every move he did was a springboard.
Yeah.
Even the botch. Yeah, the botch he does a move where he botches a springboard. After a while, I was like, oh, he botched that on purpose. Because it became a main segment of the story was him, favoring his leg.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. But I wrote down that Aerostar won. I wrote it down as the thing. I realized as I read it, it's like, oh no, it was just a splash. But
I wrote down it was a springboard plank splash.
Yes, plank splash. There we go. That's why I call it the thing. Is when anyone planks, I'm like, oh, that's plain.
Yeah, I specify plank because other people they land on their feet and their hands.
Yeah.
But with a Rey Mysterio type of plank splash, like you literally hit them with your body.
Yeah.
My favorite move, though, he did was a springboard over the top code breaker.
Oof.
You remember that?
I do.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Dude, no one ever said these guys weren't athletes. And the thing of it is, and the reason I think we're kind of disenchanted by this match was that we've seen it before. In fact, we saw it 5 times last season.
We saw it a lot of times, and really, I think me and you are proponents of, yes, a match can have a lot of spots, but it's better if there's a story along with it, as opposed to, okay, let me wait for you to do your move. Okay, let me stand here and pretend like I'm dizzy badly, waiting for you to do your next move. Whereas a smart person would just get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Because they're not power bombing each other. They all do the same flippy shit. So if you see someone preparing for a springboard, this is where an Orange Cassidy move where he rolls to the other side of the ring is freaking genius. Like anytime a wrestler rolls to the other side of the ring when the guy's at the top, it's in wrestling logic, it's the smartest thing in the world. So it's just great match, but there's no psychology before it. Like the match between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks on yesterday. There was a lot of spots in that match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very spotty, but there was also a lot of story.
Yes, dude. Absolutely. Even down to, one of the Bucks had one of the Lucha Brothers in powerbomb position, and the other Lucha Brother had the other Buck in powerbomb position as well. Now, that's similar to 2 years prior at All Out when one Buck was prone on a table with a Lucha Brother on a ladder and vice versa. They recreated that same spot somewhat 2 years later. That's good circular storytelling. And
they even brought a spot back to show off how much of a vicious heels the Bucks are, why they're so dangerous with the shoe with the text on the bottom.
That fake Jordan. Oh, man. Shout out Gats. Great guy. Always pointing out fake Jordans and stuff. That's my guy.
Yeah, I think my point is like we like some psychology, some like I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to keep going back to the AEW pay-per-view.
Well, my point is I like Gats. That's my point.
There we go.
Yeah. But hey, I also wrote down that like maybe it's just the opening riff, but like Aerostar's theme vaguely sounds like the 1993 Raw theme. I'll send the Raw theme to you after we're done, and you can be the judge. But I heard some similarities, I will say that. But hey, we now have 2 of the 7 Aztec Medallion winners confirmed, Tejano and now Aerostar. Now after this, Johnny Mundo is in the back training on, I wrote the stick thing. I know that's not what this is called.
That's a Wing Chun dummy. I don't know what it's called either, but it's so funny seeing him do Wing Chun on a dummy and never use it in a match.
Yeah. Well, it reminded me of, pardon me. Oh, goodness gracious, dude.
Get late for you there, champ?
Dude, been a long day, I can tell you that for sure. No, I remember seeing this used in No Retreat, No Surrender, if you've ever seen that classic piece of cinema.
Who's in it?
No one of note that I can think of, but it's actually Jean-Claude Van Damme plays the bad guy. He plays Ivan the Russian.
Don't think I've seen it.
There's a riff on it. It's really good. That's where I remember first seeing that. Hey, Mundo's training on that, and Taya comes in, and as soon as Taya comes in the room, it's like, oh yeah, she's into him for sure. Like, as a shoot, like she's into him, and I'm sure they were dating by this time, but still.
I think it was one of those things where art imitated real life.
Ooh. Or life imitated art, do you mean?
Yeah, something. The chicken came before the egg or something, because they got. I mean, aren't they married?
Yes, they're married.
Yeah, I mean they were very lovey-dovey in the show, and he found they appear to be perfect for each other. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got to be better than the relationship that he was put through with Melina, but whatever. Taya has news for Johnny, and it's that Johnny Mundo is getting an Aztec Medallion match, not getting the medallion alone like he wanted, but he's getting a match to compete for the Aztec Medallion against Cage in a cage. Okay, here's the thing. Johnny Mundo is not a good actor, but he has his place, and his place is in like these 80s schlocky things, and that's what this was, and that's why this was glorious, because he says, I got Cage in a cage.
I almost made that this title, but we'll probably make it the episode that they do fight will be Cage in a Cage.
I think that's also the name of the episode.
Is it really?
I believe so, yes.
Wow. Great minds think alike.
So we don't have to change the name of that episode at all. I'm sorry, I've got Raw on in the background, and
why?
Because it's New Day versus Viking Raiders right now, dude. Like, come on.
Never heard of them before.
Please
Are they
don't.
like War Raiders?
They're like War Machine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of. Hey, we got our next and final trios, first round trios tournament match. We've got PJ Black, Jack Evans, and Phoenix against the Disciples of Death. And so far, by the way, we had the trio of Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, and El Dragon Azteca Jr. advanced, as well as Joey Ryan and the crew. So 2 of our 3 trios have advanced. We're going to figure out the third one. And this episode, by the way, if you couldn't figure out by commentary, this came out on April 20th of 2016.
Did the segment with Jesse and the Rippers already happen, or?
That is going to be later.
Okay.
That's after this match.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't write down too much of this match. I did write most of all of Jack's quotes.
Yeah.
Like when PJ's trying to tag Jack Evans in, Jack Evans says, "You're doing so well. Keep going."
Yeah, dude, Jack Evans is just a shitty tag partner.
I think at one point he said, "Believe in yourself." And the third thing he wrote down was like, "I would, but I don't want to get injured."
Oh, Jack Evans rules. And
we're getting like 10% of what he can do in AEW, which is, I don't know what the deal is.
It's a shame, bro. It's a shame that Jack Evans and Angelico are stuck with that crappy HFO and their crappy music.
I don't know what's going on, because they're both great. I think Angelico's doing good, but I think there's something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure.
I hope he's not pulling an Evilise, and I hope he's like, getting along with people.
Was Jack Evans a part of? No, Jack Evans was not a part of that group that left. That sued them. No, that sued El Rey.
I think that was Cuerno and Evilise, Joey Ryan, maybe.
Yeah, Joey Ryan. Yeah. Which, funny how that worked out. But hey, despite Jack Evans being a shitty tag partner, Black, Evans, and Phoenix win anyway.
There were some stiff there were some stiff super kicks too. Throughout. Like, I mean, he super kicked Sinestro. Like, he kicked him right in the mush, and then Sinestro later he got him with a back heel kick that just sounded worse.
Yeah. Sorry, I love that you said mush. That just cracks me up, dude.
Yeah, I just wanted to quote Vampiro.
Well, I mean, I first heard Taz say that, but
they all say it. All those older guys.
Right in the mush piece. Gotcha. Credit Will Kelly, stand-up guy and good friend. Hey, I noticed after they won. Oh, by the way, Katrina was pissed because EOD has been exposed as frauds. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, she was shocked. Like, she wasn't. It took her a while to go to rage. At first, her jaw was just dropped. Yeah. But she shouldn't have been shocked, because Jack Evans, despite his douchebaggery, like, he went in there and started, like, the weakest link of the team was PJ Black, and I think he got the win.
I believe.
A springboard shooting star.
Yes, that sounds right, sir. I also did notice that after they won, the ref raised the hands of PJ Black and Phoenix was pushed away from the referee by Jack Evans.
Yeah, they wanted to make it so that the second they're setting it up in the smart way that the tournament's going to be easier for the guys they want to win by having some losers get ahead somehow with some either loser teams like Joey Ryan's or teams that are just so dysfunctional there's no way they can keep up with the cooperation and the teamwork of a team like Pumas.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to think this is probably like a cakewalk for Puma, Ray, and Azteca. Oh man, until we see Dario in his office with Jesse and the Rippers, or as I wrote down, Evie and the Rippers. Why did it take me this long to call them that? I'm not sure. But Dario referred to Angelico as a perverted pretty boy, and Dario also said that Evilise had dumped Son of Havoc, which we know and Havoc knew that's not what happened.
Yeah, he's still gaslighting people. He's all about it.
Yeah, which it's funny because, again, we literally saw, like, the Son of Havoc say, hey, hun, we're through, and then he beat Angelico. We saw it. It's bottom line. But, hey, that's enough of that, because we find out that this trios tournament was actually to see who would be three parts of a fatal four-way for the Lucha Underground Trios Championship. That's right. They had to
check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the resculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
A title match just sprung on them, and they've got 3 teams to compete with. It is elimination for what it's worth, but still, it's just out of nowhere. Oh, by the way, you've got a 4-way match next week. Greg?
I'm here. Sorry, there's something going on in the background of my neighborhood. I didn't know what it was. What's that?
Did someone get killed?
You know how it is when kids scream?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know because...
Mm.
And normally it's not a big deal. It's like, whatever, kids do whatever. But it's pitch black outside where I am.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, yeah, it is 8:30 over there.
Yeah, and it's kind of... Normally it's not... Well, yeah. Summer is about to end soon, but wasn't sure what that sound was. So I'm good now.
But hey, what do you think of the Fatal 4-Way for the Trios titles next week, sir?
You know, I'm actually a little disappointed because I thought we had more tournament going.
Nope.
You know, I kind of wanted a little bit more.
Well, that's how they did it last year. If you remember, you had.
Well, first of all, I don't remember.
Well, last season they had 3 trios matches, and each winner would go into a triple threat. Sir?
Sorry, there's more sounds going on outside.
Oh man.
Normally I wouldn't care, but one of the neighbors have a new puppy, and I just don't want anything bad to ever happen to that puppy.
Yeah. I blame you.
Yeah. But it sounds like it's just kids that are being taken away by demons, so we're good.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think of these names I came up with, the trios that are in this match? Of course, Evie and the Rippers, that's been established. Lucha Gods for Rey, Azteca, and Puma.
I was going to say Puma and the Sidekicks.
Okay. How about the Crew and Joey Ryan, the Crew Pests?
Oh, the Sex Pests. Yeah. You called them the Crew Pests?
Yes.
These
aren't all going to be winners, okay? I'm just coming up with what I came up with.
Well, the problem is that you're facing is that some of these teams are put together to not be, cohesive and not like a general central theme.
Yeah.
I would call Jesse and the Rippers. This is probably, we should call them the losers, like the movie.
Oh, yes.
They should be the losers. But then the Crew should also be the losers. So we could call them, I don't know, we could call them the Wire.
Oof.
Right?
Omar. That reference will be dated by the time this episode comes out.
It will be. And I hope that shouldn't be in bad taste. But like that's, 2 of them are undercover.
Yeah.
Right? And one of them is an actual gang member.
Yeah. Actually, calling them the Wire, that is actually clever now that I think about it.
So they're the Wire, the losers. I am not sure about the...
Okay, Evans, Black, and Phoenix?
Yeah.
I wrote down So High.
That's perfect.
Because they fly around, and also Jack Evans really likes weed.
I'm sure the Darewolf loves weed too.
I bet he does. And I'm sure Phoenix is taking a puff.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So that's So High is good for them.
Yeah.
What are we calling Puma and?
I wrote down Lucha Gods, man. That's what I wrote down.
I almost want to call them. By the way, they're from Boyle Heights. In case you forgot.
By the way, the local boys, Boyle Heights, etc.
I kind of want to call them Dirty Mike and the boys, like from the other guys.
We will have sex in your Prius.
Thanks for the soup kitchen.
Oh my gosh, Dirty Rick and the boys.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, after this, we see the Disciples of Death in the locker room with Katrina, and Katrina's pissed. And doesn't she say as much as sacrifice has to be made?
She said something
to that effect, right?
Yeah, because I forgot how it went down because I thought Mill did it.
But basically, she's taking pages out of the not that she knows it necessarily, but she's taking pages out of the Dario Cueto playbook.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarities that come up later on throughout the match that's coming up that show exactly what you're saying, the similarities. Maybe it's like Netflix has a show, How to Become a Tyrant.
Yeah.
There are certain things tyrants do to stay in power. And, certain things people like Katrina and Dario do that overlap. Not all of it, but they're going to do some of the same things because they work in the same kind of, violent field. But it was kind of like this is where we get, how do I want to say this? This is where Lucha Underground's going to start creating identity for itself, in that you can fucking die off the show.
Yeah.
Like you can be written off the show. And it's joked about, like in Being Elite with Adam Cole drinking the poison. But this show is really about that. Like, and Sinestro kills two of his two friends and eats their hearts, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. He took out their still beating hearts.
I would have liked it if they had said if they had said matter of factly, like, now you're stronger, but they kind of just allude to it.
Fair enough.
I'm not even sure if they allude to him becoming stronger for it.
I mean, you'll see it throughout the matches that he may or may not have coming up throughout the series. But hey, after that, we had our main event of the evening, Matanza versus Mil Muertes for the Lucha Underground Championship. And I wrote down that Mil Muertes beats down Matanza early on. And this is the first time we really see Matanza start to sell. This
is also why I wasn't really so vocal about how much I didn't like Matanza, because this match was better than I remembered it being. And it was just a brawl. I mean, it's not a 5-star match by any means, but it was a fun brawl.
Yeah. Well, this match is not the end of their feud.
No,
Dario at one point charges Mil Muertes like a complete idiot. And sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this spot is where you start seeing some of the similarities between him and Katrina, because they both do the same thing.
Yeah. Pardon me. Out of desperation, yes. And at one point, Katrina hit Matanza with the stone, which is stupid. Again, what you alluded to, these the similarities between Katrina and Dario. And this match is ugly in the best way. It's a brawl.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, they get above the office of Dario Cueto. And we've got a full-blown kaiju big battle atop the office. And that comes to an end when Mil Muertes
tries to New Jack Matanza.
Yes. He's trying to throw him off the office onto the floor, which would probably kill him. But that doesn't work. But what Mil Muertes does do is he hits a flatliner through that little plank that...
Yeah, it was a perfect square they went through.
Yes. And I want to say, was this the same place that that Mil Muertes put Phoenix through last year during the death match?
I want to say that was the other end.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Pardon me. You're right. But, dude, this match is over. It's a no contest. Dario Cueto holds up his key, and in Spanish, he declares war. Katrina holds up her stone, and we have got a full-blown monster mash. We didn't just get it tonight. We're going to get it again at some point. It's going to happen.
It's going to be a monster mash.
Yeah, a graveyard smash. After that, we cut to the police chief's office, and we see some posters. We get some Easter eggs here. Bale is marked as deceased. Marked as missing persons are Hernandez, Alberto El Patron, Big Rick, and Blue Demon Jr. There was a fifth one, but I couldn't quite identify them.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. I like it. It's a good Easter egg. It's a nice little, hey, this is why they're not on the show. This is our explanation. It's at this point that we meet Councilman Delgado, portrayed by something of a real actor. Lorenzo Lamas. I recognize that name, and apparently he was in Greece in 1978.
He might have been in Greece, but he was more famous for being in Renegade, the TV show, kind of like
really?
Thunder in Paradise.
Ah.
Google the intro. He's a man. He was a cop framed for murdering his wife by crooked cops, and now he goes town to town solving mysteries on his motorcycle, and he knows karate.
Interesting.
It is a mid-90s action show.
Huh. That's pretty freaking cool, dude. By the way, he was in Boone the Bounty Hunter.
So there's some crossover there, too.
Which may explain why he was in Lucha Underground. But hey, Delgado says, like, hey, stay off Dario. It's in your best interest and in the best interest of my boss. And the police chief says, I don't care what the mayor thinks. And Delgado says, honey, like, don't be so naive. We both know I'm talking about someone who is much more powerful.
The comptroller.
Yes, the comptroller. Oh, man. Who's he talking about?
I don't think we find out until, like, season 4.
Crap, I just realized I don't think we find out until the end of season 4.
Yes, it is the end of season 4. Yep.
Oh my gosh. And then that's when the show ends. But hey, guys, that's the show. We've just finished a triple header here. We didn't even talk about tactical whiteys on this episode. I'm gonna give this a grade of, this was solid. I really like the monster mash at the end. I'm going to give this an A.
What did I write down? I think I gave it a little bit lower.
Okay.
I think I gave it I gave it a B minus. Just because, I don't know, I don't think it was the best. I mean, I like the brawl. Here's the thing, like, I will say things like, oh, I like this match, I like that, but I know it's not. And this is we are tired because we did record 3 shows in a row, so I don't want to go on too much of a rant. But like when things are all about star ratings,
yeah,
a good entertaining anything doesn't have to be the best of that genre or medium. It just has to be enjoyable.
Yeah. I'll give you an example, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I love to do it. I'll give you an example of not being the best, but being entertaining. And this may be a hot take. I really enjoyed X3 on first watch. I really did. Like, I admit there are problems with it. I think they tried to cram too much into a sub 2-hour window.
X-Men 3?
Yes, sir.
I enjoy X-Men 3, even though it is a horrible movie as an X-Men fan. Like, the guy that shoots spikes at Wolverine is credited as Omega Red, and if you're a fan of the comic books, you know that's nowhere near what Omega Red does, or is about.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm commenting from the perspective of someone who has not read the X-Men comics.
Oh no, it's all good. I your point is valid. It's, I like a brawl, but someone rating that match between Matanza and Mill might give it like a 2 or a non-rating.
I don't think you can rate it.
You probably can't, but I liked it. I like brawls.
Yeah.
I like that kind of physicality when they're just slugging at each other.
Yeah.
But I think, without going on too much of a rant, we do like to rate the shows, but it's not rated in the same way like a star rating is. We're not going like, okay, this match was, a 5 and this match was a 4, so we got to round that out. No, we go with an overall like feeling of the whole show.
Exactly. We rate the vignettes. We rate the commentary. We rate how the band performed. Okay, we don't do that, but still.
No, we try our best because we're, it's when we give it a B, it means it's a good show to watch.
Yeah.
If it's a C, you can skip it. If it's anything less than that, you should never watch it.
Yeah, if it's below a C, you should never listen to that episode of the podcast again.
No, and if it's an A, that means it's a show that even people that are, star rating Nazis will like. Like they're all about, like it's all about the star rating. It has to be 5 or more.
Oh my God.
People like that will probably like the match. If we give a show an S rating, that means one of the best shows of the whole show.
Wow. I've been watching a lot of Marky D lately. I don't know if you watch. He does Ring of the Hawk on YouTube. Pretty good channel. A lot of old TNA content. But when he rates something in S, it stands for shove it, man. Which is just the opposite of what we give S's for.
Well, he might have done bad in school then.
Yeah, maybe he did. Who knows? But hey, guys, thank you for listening. If these episodes gradually got worse, then your opinion is wrong. These were great episodes. There is nothing like us on the network. Would you agree?
I would say, yeah, we're
unique, and
we're a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, we're like, what's a good? Yeah, we are a diamond in the rough. We're like
desert in the rose. Wait,
yeah,
desert.
We're like rain on your wedding day. We're like 10,000 spoons and all you need is a knife. Like a free ride when you're already late, that sort of thing.
We got one hand in our pocket and one hand in something else. I forget.
Yeah, one hand up your ass.
There you go.
Guys, we are gonna get out of here. I'm gonna listen to some Alanis Morissette when we're done.
You ought to know.
And thank you for listening. And remember something about grave consequences.
Yeah.
Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
You spend the first hour of your vacation at the luggage carousel thinking there's nowhere to go but up. But there is a place to go but up, because when you open your suitcase, you find it filled with dolls. Dolls like the ones in that movie that scared you so much you wet your girlfriend's bed. Ah, Marissa, the one that got away. You return the bag to the airport with relief. It lasts until you get back to your room, where a fallen doll waits to greet you.
Don't let a suitcase full of dolls ruin your vacation. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing.